tongue. And I don't know how to start this. All right, hi, we are past the first half of the year, which is insane. We are now in the second half of the year. Math. This is how I wrote July. I am feeling very uninspired today, so this will be the intro and let's go. As I was planning out the samples for the classical music pieces that I wanted to include in the songs this year, one of the first ones that I knew I sort of had to use was from Carmen, Habanera. It's like one of the most famous classical music pieces. I was like, well, you gotta use it, all right? If you're doing classical music, you gotta do Habanera. So it goes like this. You get the gist, right? So I was like, love it, amazing, that's the song. It also sounds like the summer, right? It sounds kind of spicy, mysterious. It sounds like a hot summer night, at least to me. And I was like, well, great, we're gonna use it for the July song. Blah, 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 what am I saying? For the longest time, I knew I needed to use this song, this classical music piece, but absolutely no idea, A, how to incorporate it into a pop song, and B, what the song would actually be about, aka only the two things that comprise the song. So yay! Until one day I was on Pinterest, scrolling through Pinterest, and this image pops up in my timeline, whatever it's called on Pinterest. And it's like this bird's eye view photo of a dinner table with like very messy. It looks like an Italian dinner table. You can tell from like the silverware and the plates. They're like this porcelain tile that they do in Sicily, in southern Italy. There's pasta, there's like a pizza, some bread, oil, and it's messy. There's red wine and people are grabbing for the food, but the photo just captures so much. That photo, I was like, wow, this just captures exactly what I want the July song to capture. So then after looking at that photo continuously, day after day after day after day, I finally came up with some lyrics, and here is the verse. Late July with the sun up high, the cicadas sing as a week struck by. Read all day in a hammock, sway down like molasses and roots away. Need to beat the sleepy sweet heat, my friends call it all late to meet it. So you see, in 90 degrees, it's a dinner under the olive trees. And that was kind of it, and I was like, wow, okay, cool, love it. In fact, I loved it so much that I had no idea where else to take the story that I used the verse twice, and I thought it kind of fit with the vibe of what the final production was. But fun fact, initially, I thought the melody of this verse was going to be actually the habanera melody. Late July with the sun up high, the cicadas sing as the weeks drop by. I read all day in my hammock, swaying down like molasses and melts away. Same lyrics, different melody. And one day I'm like sitting at this piano, the kitchen's right over there. My mom's cooking in the kitchen, and I play this over and over and over, singing the habanera melody with the lyrics, and she was like, oh my god, this is so annoying, you have to stop. And I was like, okay, cool, red flag right there, harsh but duly noted. And so I was like, all right, okay, well, maybe we keep the lyrics but change up the melody, since it works fantastic in Carmen, in the opera, and not so much in a pop song, turns out. So I was trying to figure out what it would be, and one evening, again, I was inspired by a lot of like visual stuff for this song. I was scrolling through my phone, got an ad on YouTube for the H&M Summer 2022 campaign, and it uses the song, I can boogie, boogie, boogie all night long, and it's like this fantastic disco jam with like a bunch of like glorious, majestic, over-the-top string lines. And the video for that campaign, just people dancing away, and clearly a like European, it's probably Tuscany or Provence villa, and there's like olive trees and string lights, and it's a moonlight, and people are just dancing away to it. And I was like, oh my god, the habanera song should be a disco jam. And then that same evening, I wrote the chorus, and I figured out the new groove for the song, which then helped me write the melody for the song. for the verse. I was like, great, love it, so much better, so much more groovy, disco-y. And that was the verse. Let's go to the pre-chorus. The brittle clink, the deep red drink, the cocktail chatter in silver ink, a single glance, summer romance, one evening entirely up to you get it. This one is very clearly not an original melody. It's from Habanera. So that's the one that I was like, okay, awesome. This one actually fits very smoothly into the whole disco jam, and I like it because it changes up the rhythm from the verse. The verse is very fast and choppy, and this one is more smooth and wavy, and it's a great juxtaposition to where before, and a nice transition into the chorus. The only part of the melody from Habanera that I changed was just the ending. An evening entirely up. That's what I changed, and I thought that transition was very ABBA-esque. And then the chorus ended up being very ABBA style too. So it kind of worked out. The lyrics for this are actually the first lyrics that I wrote for the July song, and that was based on that photo from Pinterest. So when I was looking at it consistently for so long, these were the first lyrics that I wrote, and it's basically just describing what is on the photo. The brittle clink, the deep red drink, aka the red wine in the photo. Talking, sharing stories over food. That's just something that's so romantic to me. A single glance, summer romance. And then, you know, looking across the table and you see this guy that one of your friends brought with them to the dinner. And he's a cute guy. Summer romance, an evening entirely up to chance. And then we get into that magical, fantastical chorus. None of this actually happened to me, but it would be awesome if it did. So let's go into the chorus. Night, one night, to dance away under the bright moonlight, to get lost in the magic of your eyes. Oh, but it's only for the night, one night, within a moment everything collides. It's all exactly how the films describe. Oh, but it's only for the night. Anyways, at this point it was clear that this was not going to be, you know, a song about a story that occurred personally to me. So I was like, all right, okay, let's just go full out with the rom-com vibes. Kept thinking about that ad from H&M. Also, the movie Call Me By Your Name, which I think has a lot of the aesthetics and emotions that I wanted this song to convey. And there's a scene in that movie where they're having like a little disco night where Elio and his Italian potentially girlfriend are dancing away, and it's the moonlight, and it feels very nostalgic but also carefree. And I was like, wow, this is that's the chorus. Dancing away and falling in love under the summer moonlight somewhere in Europe. And chorus 3. One night I wake up and blink open both my eyes. All I see are the pastel colored skies. I guess there never was a night. It seems that it was nothing but a summer dream. I fell asleep under the sunshine beams. Then again there's always tonight. In context of the other songs from this year that have been very autobiographical, it feels a little like almost inauthentic to be singing about this fantastical story about dancing under the moonlight. So I was like, what if there's a twist in the song? And it was actually all just a dream. Which I remember because I was having a conversation with my brother about how when we wrote essays in school, we always thought we were super witty, and in the end we were like, but it was only a dream. It would be kind of funny to do that here, you know, as an adult, and use that same literary device, we're gonna call it that. But yeah, and it feels more like me because that's exactly what I would be doing, is I would be having a dream about this like very romantic experience of falling in love. What else are we gonna say? I don't know. And this and the part before it are probably my two favorite parts of the song. And in the final production, this is the part where it just breaks down and it's just the strings. And it happened totally on accident when I was writing the strings, like producing the song out. I wanted to hear the strings by themselves just to make sure that everything matches up like tempo-wise, and the melodies together all work. And so I muted all the other tracks, like the bass, the drums, everything else, the synths, and just kept the strings in the chorus. And I was like, oh my God. I personally had no idea that they sounded like that by themselves, because I always worked with them in the context of all the other like super disco beat and everything else. And so my mind was blown. I was like, wow, that sounds very cool. We should like try and incorporate that somewhere in the song. And now I love it, because it's very surprising that music can work like that, because these are the exact same string parts that are playing in every single chorus. The only thing that happens there is you take away all the other production elements, and the groove changes, and it almost has this like almost a Spanish vibe to it. I don't know, but I think it also harkens back to the inspiration of Carmen and Habanera, and brings some of that vibe back in, which I thought was really fun to do. But yeah, that's the July song. It is probably my favorite song that I've ever written so far. My mom grew up listening to so much ABBA, and now she's passing that on to me, and I feel like this song sort of captures our love for that music, which is very exciting. But yeah, that's it, and I'll see you in August.